So we had so much good footage that I had to make two videos. And so this is Chankla on Saturday, and so day one after the last video. And I'm just working out. She still has a drag rope on. So I was able to walk up and grab the drag rope, and I'm just trying to get her to move her butt over. So I'm pulling her to the side. Oh, and she moved her front end over and her butt over. It was great. That was perfect. I was happy with that. And here I'm just introducing, this is the first time I'm asking her to actually kind of lunge. And like this, flag isn't painful. It's just loud and annoying and just patting her on the butt. And she's like, I don't know what to do with that thing. So she's just, I just keep putting this pressure on until she kind of walks off, and she walked off. It was great. And she's like, oh, okay, I get it. She's super, super smart. A lot of fun to work with her. And she picked up that really, really fast. And oh God, I hope you can't hear me talking. I talk a lot when I train. And then going the next direction, just asking her to kind of walk around me in this pen. She wasn't afraid of that flag, really. I mean, she just kind of like looked at it and was a little flinchy to it, but wasn't really afraid of it. So that was great. And then here I'm just kind of helping her learn to move that hind end over when I look at it. And she did great there. And then any tool you use to sensitize them, you need to desensitize them to the tool so they're not afraid of it. And I love her curiosity, like she's sniffing it, she's checking it out. And her ear here, oh my God, her ear is so funny. It's like right, it's off, she's dying. I really like this horse because she's very expressive and she really tells me how she's feeling. And that makes it so much easier to work. And then here, all I'm doing is making her actually do a little bit more with the target, where I'm asking her to actually walk and touch the target. So now she knows this game really well, to touch the target. So that was cool to get her to walk toward me and touch the target. That's kind of a big deal. And you can see how she's not like super, super, super calm. Like she's still a little reactive there with the whatchamacallit, putting the food in the thing. And here's Isidore working with Pantera. This is his little burlap sack that he loves to desensitize with, and she was not having any of it. She went around for quite a long time, so I cut a lot of that out. And if you notice, she's got a little bit of a snotty nose. She's on medicine for it. Sometimes when we get them from the corrals, they get a little snotty nose or something. And so we've had that before. We just give them some medicine and takes care of it. She's still obviously spunky enough to continue with training, so that's what we're going to do. And here she is finally settled down. And actually, once they get or realize it doesn't hurt, it feels good because it's kind of scratchy and it scratches them a little bit. And she seemed to enjoy it after that. And here's got the fly spray and kind of introducing her to that. And this is just how he does it. He's got a hold of her, and she can move away, and he'll follow her. She's still, I just like it. You really watch the ears. Her ears are going forward and back, and she's looking at him, participating in the training, and that's what's important. That's how you're not really seriously flooding them or shutting them down. And this was great. Like he just took her lead rope off, and she's loose now. And here I am in my method of spraying her. So I had sprayed her for like a few days, and then she had Sunday off, and then she forgot like everything. So this was her forgetting everything. So this is just water I'm spraying on her. I'm just following her around. She wants to move away. That's fine. And then what I'll do is when she stops right there, I stop and reward her. So that way she starts to figure out, oh, I need to stand here. That's what she wants. So took her a little while. Like she moved around quite a bit, and that's okay. I'm not going to make her stop. And then reward her for standing there. And it's still a work in progress. She's still pretty flinchy with that thing spraying her, which we haven't had flies until about May. We started to have flies, and now we have them worse than I would like them, but they're not horrible. But definitely, like you could see that Arab is kind of swishing a little bit, but not super bothered. There's not a lot of them, but there's more than I want. And so we have some fly spray, and that was really, really good. Super happy with that. So she's starting to learn this game. Okay, I stand here, you spray me, I get a treat. And then I walked away to give her a little break, and then she was started to play with that burlap thing. And I love her curiosity here. Like, she's so cool. She wants to check stuff out. And that's kind of really, really make my life a lot easier in training, is to see if I can maintain that curiosity and interest in things. And so here, all I'm doing is she's doesn't have a drag rope anymore, and I would like to clip that long rope on her. And so she's a little standoffish when I approached her, so I just rubbed her and then backed off, because I don't want to just keep going. Like, I really want to try and break that down. She kind of took a step back there, and I rubbed her, so that was much better than she kind of wanted to go in the corner before. Then I'm just checking to make sure that I can put my hand down where I'm going to be clipping that. And same thing, I backed off again. So I did that quite a bit until she didn't step back anymore. And then I moved on. Then I know it was okay to move on. I'm not trying to skip any steps, because she is like probably the easiest Mustang I have ever started in a makeover. And I don't want to miss steps simply because she's easy. So all those little things like a step back, even a lean back, I need to be very aware of that, and make sure that that I'm not just pushing through that. So she ran around for a long time with me throwing this rope. And I have horrible roping skills. Like, I just throw it and it goes all over the darn place. But I figure I make really broke horses that way, because they get really used to ropes all over them. Because like this, I'm so uncoordinated. It's not even funny. Been doing this for years and years, and I still can't throw a rope to save my life. But oh well, it makes them broke. And so this way, she picked it up pretty quick. Like, you still see how flinchy she is, and she's kind of in the corner. She feels a little safer in the corner. And so I just kept throwing it, and then rewarding her when she stood. And then later on, there's a really, really great clip of what happens after. So first, you want them to kind of stop running around when you can throw it. And then later, you want them to start going for that relaxation when you throw the rope. Okay, so here I was still throwing the rope, and then ended up getting kind of around her. I wanted to touch her butt, see what she would do, and well, that was fun. So I just kind of kept a steady, like, very light pressure on there, and she ran around and ran around. What I really, really like about her is she's very aware where her body is. So I'm super encouraged by this, that she doesn't, like, she's, uncomfortable, she's running, but she doesn't like lose her shit where she will like crash into stuff and run into stuff and hurt her and possibly hurt me. She doesn't react like that, which is so cool. I love that she doesn't react like that. So she'll run a little bit, but she won't like crash into stuff and run into stuff, because there's like a feeder on you can't see it, but it's like on the side where the camera is. And she was very aware where that feeder is, and she'd look at it and move right around it, even though she was running around, which is just huge. So it's little stuff like that that's really, really important. And then I'm, throwing the rope and tossing it around her body. She's doing so much better. So she's still like, of course she's not cool with it, but she's starting to learn, okay, I'm supposed to stand here. It's not going to hurt me. It's kind of scary. And then what I'll do is I'll like toss the rope up and down. And this was so cool, her to turn and look at it. I love that she's being involved like that, not just tolerating me doing something to her. So that just tells me I'm on the right track. So Isidro is going to show you two different techniques that he teaches to halter, and he talks here. So I'm going to let him talk and shut up.
We're working how to take out the holder y put on tissue horse. Vamos a trabajar en el holder, quitarlo y ponerlo. Son dos maneras de ponerlo. Es una.
So I didn't know he was going to do that, which when I was watching the video back, I was like, oh, how cool. So I hope he does it some more. I'll ask him if he's willing to Spanglish his teaching up some more. That would be great, because I'd love to put those in the videos, not just always me talking. So he gave her a little break, and then now he came back, and he's breaking it down, and he's going to put that around her neck, because that was the first process he told her to let her know that he's about to halter her. And I mean, of course, he did tons of desensitizing with rubbing her and rubbing her with stuff. And he does it. I do it a little bit differently. You'll see it later, where I put a halter over the existing halter. But Cyril just does a lot of desensitizing and rubbing, and getting her used to him putting his hand over like that. And so after that episode of him haltering and unhaltering her, she got it completely taken off, and then he came back and just restarted how he had done it before. And you can see how he's rubbing her neck, and he's always thinking of ways to desensitize her more. So here I am. She kind of got that rope around her head there. So I'm just trying to show you that, like, she was super reactive around her ears. I don't know why I couldn't get it on video, but like, I'd throw that and she'd fling her head straight up in the air or turn around and take off the other way. And that is huge. So we did a ton of that, just flinging that thing around her head. And then this is kind of cool. I put this in here because, I'm desensitizing with the rope. She's in the corner. So when she's in the corner, it tells me that she's really struggling with this. When she's in the middle, tells me she's much more accepting. But I got to start somewhere. So this was so cool. I love how, so she stepped on that. So I thought, I'm just going to pull this rope and see what she does. So, because I'm going to be putting a rope on her feet. And this was awesome. I mean, she just picked it up and just figured it out, didn't react, it didn't kick. So I'm like, yay, maybe I won't get my head kicked in when I work on her back feet. So I would like to get that halter off. So right now I'm working on haltering, and what I did was I first taught her to target the halter with her nose. And then I rubbed her with the halter, and then I started to have her, come toward me and put it over her nose, and then worked on, because she would turn her head away. And my goal is to be able to put the halter on and off well before I take that halter off permanently so I can catch her. So this is good. She's facing me. I'll put the halter on, and I'm just working on the nose. And so she kind of backed off. It was too much for her. So I probably should have backed off there and had her target the halter again. So, it's always nice to watch it back and be like, I should have done that. So here I had her, targeting that halter a little bit better. She settled down, which is great. And then I'm trying to do this kind of, I'm away a little bit and approach. And then she turned her head toward me, put that over her nose, and that was awesome. And I stopped for the day on that. And so Isidro now has managed to get Pantera in the bullpen. And so he's working with her in the bullpen, working on touching her all over. He does a lot of rubbing. I'm not quite there yet, but I love how much rubbing and touching he does. He gets him really, really used to being touched all over. And he's not attached to her, and she just kind of really, focuses in on him and follows him, which is so cool. So he's just clipping the line on her here, and just showing her that rope again. You see how twitchy she is? So that's something that, he's going to keep working on a lot. So we don't want him that twitchy. That just tells us that they're not okay. Like, even though she's standing there, that's not the end goal. The end goal is standing, relaxed, and not reacting. So here he's working on lunging, I believe. Yeah. I love how focused, these Mustangs are so cool. A lot of times they stay so focused on you. They're fun to work with like that. Yeah, and the lunging's gotten a lot better here. So I cut a lot of that out because, it's just going around and around and around. And you can only watch so many circles. And then, of course, he's going to desensitize her to the tool he just used. Same thing, a lot more rubbing. And, he started patting here. Patting is huge. So I'm not quite there with my horse, but the sitter is doing a lot of patting with her. She's super twitchy. And then here, he's working on being able to put his arms around her neck. So in case, when this is like preparation for riding. So if you ever have to like reach down or reach around their neck or grab something or whatever, they're okay with it. And so he's doing a lot of just reaching around and hugging her neck and helping her be okay with that. So he's on one side, and his hands are doing something on the other side. And that's a big step you don't ever want to miss before you ride them. That they can see you on one side, but stuff is touching them on the other side. And then here he's been spraying her off. It's been pretty warm. We're in northern Arizona, so it's nothing like southern Arizona, but he's spraying her off. He just brings the hose into the bullpen to spray her off. It's really, really good for them to just get used to things. It helps just relax their body. And she's super sensitive with her back legs. You can see her kicking. And so he's going to work a lot on that. She's still not good with this yet. So just going to do a lot of spraying on her back legs. She's not the easiest horse. Like, she's not like super calm and everything's easy. She's kind of got a little spunk to her. And so you could see right there, she was like, oh, I'm out of here. That's too much. And so you just kind of let her go and come back to it. You see, he doesn't get angry or upset. That's not beneficial. Just go right back to it. If she needs to move away, she can move away. But yeah, she's just not thrilled with that water touching her back legs. So he spent a long time on that. You can still see she's still not cool with it. But you definitely aren't going to want to go back there and try and pick up a back leg if this is not okay, So all these little things tell us if they're ready for something or not. Boy, she's such a pretty horse. She's put together really, really nice. Yep. Kicks out of that. Yeah. I would not be putting my head over there and touching those back legs if you can't do this step. So he's dead on here, making sure that this is good before he's going to try to pick up those feet. And here she's finally settled down a little bit, and he stopped on that good note, which is really good for her. I'm sure she had a nice roll after this. It's kind of cool. He's just letting her kind of play with the water and check it out and really feel it and realize that, oh, it's water. It's nothing really scary or bad. Her ears just crack me up. She's so expressive with them. And here, just working on leading. She's getting much, much better. Really just following him. We do a lot of working on leading. Want him to lead really well and be soft and not have to pull on him a whole lot. And then here, he's just working on, this is more desensitizing. Squeezing her neck, see how she responds. Is she sore or sensitive anywhere? Is she reactive anywhere? Putting both hands on her now, that's kind of a big deal. So, you could do one hand and then you want to switch hands, and then you should be able to put both hands on them, because all those are different things, so they may react differently to them. And she's doing pretty good here. He's also rubbing her with that rope. You see, she's very, very aware, and she's tolerating it, but she's not like super relaxed with it. And then I love this. You can see so clearly how beneficial padding is. You see how twitchy she is. So he's going to want to, put a saddle on her and stuff. And if she's that twitchy, he's got to get her through that and get her over that. So he spends a long time doing this padding stuff. So she's loose, so I'm trying to catch her. So what she did when she turned away from me is I patted my leg there to give her a little bit of pressure when she turns away, and then I stop when she faced me. And then I'm just going to give her a little rub, but I'm going to back off because I'm not going to catch a horse that's in the corner. Her being in the corner tells me she's not ready for me to catch her. She's not ready for training. So she'll come, when she comes to the middle, then I know, okay, she's ready for training. She's ready for me to approach her. And so my goal here today is to get this halter on and off a bunch of times so that I can take the red halter off permanently and be able to walk in and halter her. And so I'm just doing in increments here. So I'm short, so she has to be okay with that halter rubbing her all the way up her face and over her ear. And you can see she's not cool with it here. I probably should have taken it off and given her an activity that she was okay with to reassure her and help her feel better about herself, that she can achieve something. And so I think I figured that out later because she was still being a little reactive to it. And so I just spent some time letting her target the halter and then rewarding her for that, to just give her some more confidence because this is a little scary with this going over her face and her eye and her ear. And she's been super reactive before where she would actually fling her head. And so I didn't want to go to this step too soon because I certainly don't want her to fling her head and bust my nose open or something. So this was good. It's the first time I think I actually tied it so she can hear that. You can see here, she has her little ear on it. And then I take it off. And I cut a ton of this out. This was like a really long time of on and off, on and off, on and off, halfway on and then take off. Just the nose, then go back to targeting it, on and off. And then I finally made it to where I could take that halter off and then I could take the red halter off. And she's completely free. And I left her alone for a little bit to kind of process. And then I came back and would like to halter her without it. And so same thing, we went through the same process, on and off, on and off. And then she rewarded me with this nice, easy, quiet haltering. Super happy with that. And here we're working on leading again. I was able to walk up and clip that rope on her. And so I'm just asking her to move that, butt over and her front end over. And I like how she's already willing to cross those front feet over when I pull on that rope. That's super cool. That's going to be, that's very promising for some neat stuff to happen later. And she's starting to really follow me here. And here we're going to do our head rope thing. That was a good example of her flinging her head to the side. She was better. It used to be a lot worse than that. And then here I'll probably do this a little bit every day just to get her used to things flinging around her head and her not wanting to fling her head in response. And you could see already like how much better she is about this rope. I have a really loose lead rope on her. It's not holding her there. And she's still twitchy. Do you see the twitchy? So this is what I was talking about later. So I'm going to keep flinging that until she's not twitching anymore, until she's just stops that whole twitching. And I think it was right about me and my terrible rope skills. Right there. You see she didn't twitch? So that was great.